Okay, I've got the chat in front. I think I've got green. Let me just see. I was with for Google. I was with for Google before I say I'm green. Hello and welcome to That Beautiful Life podcast. I was actually saying, I should say the Swedish way, the Vackra Livix podcast. Um,
Oh,
you know, I wonder how do you say it in Polish? How do you say That Beautiful Life in Polish? I'll have to ask Alex. Um, But hello and welcome to the podcast. I am on camera again, as you guys can see, for a second week in a row, and that is because I don't have. Hey Daniel, welcome to the podcast.
hi,
Yes,
hi.
so I don't have my proper setup like home. I don't know. Maybe when I get back, I might just decide to just do it like this going forward. Like have camera. Maybe we'll both be on camera. Who knows? But yeah, this is actually pretty fine. I'm good with this because I have one screen to work with. I can't have a second screen with
Yeah.
capturing extra stuff from Discord and all that kind of stuff. So it's working out. I hope my audio sounds good because as you guys know, I'm using my headphones and not I'm not using a proper mic, and this is not even my best headphones. This is my second best headphones, so I hope it's fine. It does have a pop filter, so that should help. But anyway, I am here in the beautiful um, Trinidad still, talking to the beautiful Roger Bergstrom all the way in Stockholm, Sweden. How are you, Raj? How are you doing?
Oh, I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Yeah, we talked a bit before. I sent Q a little pic that I
Mhm.
finally took a photo. Very seldom take photos nowadays. I feel bad about it.
Mhm.
I took it from the upper floor from our house out
Mhm.
on the street because it's quite beautiful, beautiful morning. The perspective seeing the snow. It's been snowing quite some here
Mhm.
for a few days. And yeah, it's a winter landscape. And today it's actually minus 14 degrees Celsius. So it's quite cold. But as said to you, I like this. I think this is better than how it was before when it was, we talked about windy plus something, but it feels like very, very cold even so. So I'm happy about it. This looks as it should be when you're getting into December here soon and going towards Christmas and everything. So yeah, good, good. But
It
I think
is.
yeah. Then we have the contrast, of course. I mean, as said, how is it in Trini?
Um, the contrast to that is that it is warmer. It is
It should be.
it
Yeah.
should be on average we're sitting at about let me see 26 degrees right now, and it's 4 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, it has been a
Oh,
minute since I've been on Twitch now, Lou. I'll be back on Twitch at some point, but not right now. Maybe when I get back home, because I did walk with like a capture card, and I pretty much carried as much gear as I could to like if I need to, I can do stuff. But yeah, I haven't gotten around to doing that. So yeah, generally speaking, yeah, it's warm. And here's the thing though, when I first got here, man, Rog, I was sweating so badly. It was almost impossible for me not to sweat, you know.
mm,
And then with time, I've been getting better, like my body at regulating the heat.
mm.
So I have been like instead of sweating as much, I've still been sweating, but my like I can go out in the sun now and I don't just instantly burst into sweat because that's what was happening to me before. I'd go out into the sun, and as soon as I walked out there, I would be soaking. Like my whole chest would just be covered. It would look like if someone just threw a bottle of water at me. That's literally how I looked. You
Oh,
know.
okay. Yeah.
So yeah, that's essentially what I was working at when I first got here. But now I'm starting to get the hang of it. My body's starting to adjust. It's getting it's what's that word called for it? It's adapting. I'm
Yeah,
adapt.
adapting. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, I'm getting that adaptation to the weather and all that kind of stuff. So it's not bad actually. It's absolutely
Yeah.
not bad. So yeah.
But
Um,
did you got some rain, didn't you?
We did. So the weirdest thing is that it has been raining, every now and then since I've been here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
every now and then you see a little rain come down and all that kind of stuff. But the thing is that it's raining in a way that's like I don't think like there's no like storm weather rain. It's sort of like a drizzle, like we'd call it in Trinidad. We call that a drizzle.
Yeah.
So we've gotten
Mm.
a drizzle of rain every now and then, and that's been it's been fine. Like more or less. I'm not too bothered by the rain at the moment. I think it's perfect the way it is.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't complain. So yeah,
Is that typical for I mean the season now or
I don't
that
know
it?
to be honest. I know in Trinidad we usually have like a rainy season, and I
Yeah,
don't
that's what I
know.
thought.
I
Uh,
don't know what season it is right now because like I haven't been in Trinidad for so long. I can't remember how
yeah,
the seasons work.
yeah.
So I'm not sure if it's the rainy season now or if we just passed the rainy season.
Mm.
It's one of the two. I think we either just passed the rainy season or it is the rainy season at this point in time. But
Okay.
personally, I'm not 100%
Yeah.
sure.
Now, it says like this. Typically, Trinidad and Tobago heat season occurs from March to October,
Mhm.
with the hottest weather and the most excessive heat occurring during April to May
Mhm.
and August to October, which are the peaks of the local heat season. That's
Look,
at least what it says. I guess you are in a kind of, could you say almost winter? I don't know. No, maybe not. What rain season? I don't,
look at you being all informed about your Trini weather and stuff.
well, the internet is one click away.
I'd say yeah, it probably is because as I say, it's raining a little bit, but nothing that I can't handle. Like I even went out on I went to meet up with a friend of mine's mom to like collect some of him because he lives in the UK, and so
Mm-hmm.
I said to him like, hey, is there anything you need while I'm there? I can bring it for you.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he was like, "Oh, if you could meet up with my mom, that'd be great, 'cause like she's got like some stuff for some stuff for me and all that kind of stuff." So I ended up meeting up with his mom. Really nice lady. She was wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
Mm.
And she gave me some stuff for him, but on that day when I left, it was raining. So
Okay. All right.
that is one of the I guess one of the days where I had to take an umbrella. I borrowed my cousin's umbrella and went out with it.
Yeah.
It was a tiny umbrella though. I've gotten so accustomed to the umbrellas we have at home that they're big and strong and
Yeah,
mucho.
it covers like hold you, so to speak, when you walk in.
Yep. I
Uh,
was saying to myself,
mm,
if this rain proper comes down, I'm gonna get drenched. Like there's nothing I'm
mm,
gonna be able to do. Um, I think the only thing the umbrella would have covered is my head, and that's if it didn't just blow away from the
yeah.
wind or something like that. But luckily, it like before I got to the end of the street, it was the rain had stopped and that was pretty fine.
All
So
right.
yeah.
Yeah, because I guess that's the thing also, at least my experiences from like the tropics and everything when it comes to rain can start like within a minute or two, like
Hmm.
heavy rain even, and then just ends the same. It's like gone
Yes.
within, and then woo, woo, the sun comes out and it was like as if it never happened.
We call those
Um,
in Trinidad we call it a passing cloud.
yeah, I
So
can
that's what
imagine.
it's called, a
That's a
passing
good.
cloud.
Yeah. Passing cloud with a lot of water, to
Hmm.
be honest. Yeah. But besides weather and everything, how has your week been? I mean, you have adapted. You are accustomed now to the
I'm Trini
the
again.
Trini way, I guess. Yeah, you're Trini again. At least, yeah.
I am Trini again.
Well,
So it
89% of you are now Trini. It's like the meter is going up
it
as
is.
the longer you stay.
I've had some
Uh,
interesting adventures this week. For one, with my cousins, they've been pretty awesome to me.
nice.
So um, so basically we've had one night where they saw my Steam Deck and they asked me like what was it about, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to sort of like show them how it works. So I plugged it into the telly and everything. They were like so surprised. They were like, especially CJ. CJ was like, she was like, oh my god, this is so cool, And so I promised I'll show her some of the cool stuff on the games,
Mm-hmm.
because like she was like the graphics look so good. So I'll tell you guys about the games that I showed them. But essentially, yeah, so we hung out, we did that, we did badminton in the backyard, and so we went on the back, we played some badminton. That was great. That was pretty good. I probably got demolished by CJ. She was much better than me. I felt like she went easy on me as well. Like I felt like there were certain portions where I I got like a point. I was
Yeah,
counting the
yeah.
points. She was not, and I felt like she was going easy on me and sitting the points. But hey, you know what it is. Um, I also got to meet up with some of my mates that I went to uni with. So my closest friends from TT outside of Caden. So that'll be Javon and Justin. Those
Aha.
guys, awesome. That was those are my ride or dies in uni. Like we were always hanging out together. And
Mm.
so the minute they knew that I was here, they were like, okay, we're gonna meet up. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna do our thing. And we've been meeting up every now and then. So this week I actually went with Javon to an internet cafe. I didn't even know Trinidad still had internet cafes. I was like, holy crap, an internet cafe. And because when I called, I think I either called or messaged Javon in the day, and I was like, wait, what are you doing later? And he was like, well, to be honest, I'm going to this internet cafe after work,
Mm-hmm.
in Kirep, right? And Kirep is not too far from where I am, so he was like, if you want, I can come get you, and we can just go. I'm meeting up some friends I play League of Legends with, and yeah, I don't play League of Legends, right? Sorry, I don't play League of Legends, but at the same time, I haven't been to an internet cafe in a while and all that kind of stuff, so I ended up going, and it was like going back to the past in this, but in a good way. It was like, you walk into this room and there's like computers from wall to wall, and like it's filled with people, and they're talking and they're vibrant, and they're just because they're playing multiplayer games together in like a LAN setting, so they're all like talking to each other, and they were playing a match of League of Legends, and when they finished it, there was this one guy. He was like the leader of his group or something, and he was just giving these guys a rundown of the play. He's like, you shouldn't be here, and you should have done this thing, and you see this. So they were running back the plays like it was so interesting and cool in a way that I fully didn't understand because I don't play League of Legends. But it was cool seeing them do their thing. And then my friend, Javon, when he got in there, you know, he's like I think everyone refers to him by his gamer tag. So I think it's something like Jakob or something they were calling him, which I've never heard his gamer tag before because we've gamed before, but we've never used each other's gamer tags. I don't know if he knows mine. I don't know his
Aha.
sort of.
Okay.
So when he walked in, everyone's like, Jakob, oh, he's here, and everyone was just like greeting him, and there were handshakes and hugs and fist bumps and everything. And one guy got up and he's like, you can have my computer, come on. And they were just, it was wonderful. It's just seeing that, and being in that environment and stuff like that. And we ended up hanging out, and after that we ended up going to a guest house that one of the guys was renting because he was visiting Trinidad as well.
Mm.
And they had an Xbox there, an Xbox Series X, and they put on FIFA at first. I got beaten. I lost 3-2 in FIFA. FIFA is I just don't have the skills for that game anymore. But the guy I was playing against, he was pretty. He knew what he was doing. And then
Yeah, yeah.
we played Guilty Gear Strive because you know people were complaining that you couldn't really like FIFA wasn't really that fun. So end up switching to Guilty Gear Strive. We did a bit of that, and then did some drinking, had some local Trini beers, and then after that we left. We left and started heading back. Everyone dropped me off and all that kind of
Ah.
stuff. Um, Outside of that, just meeting up with the guys, having a drink, chatting. My cousins give me punch crema as well, which is it's kind of like Bailey's, but not at the same time. Or maybe eggnog. It's a
Aha.
Trinidadian alcoholic beverage that's made of milk and all this sort of stuff. It's sweet and nice and strong. So I had some punch creme. I've been eating a lot of curry. I've had a roti almost every day, like
I thought
almost
so.
every day. I've had roti doubles. I've just been eating curry consistently. Um, I also planned not to run into anyone since I've been here, but I have been running into people. So far, just to just
Yeah.
highlight, I've run into this bloke I knew back in the day. Pretty cool dude. He actually took me to this bubble place that he likes,
Mm.
and he bought me a bubble tea. So shout out to Chad, that you were awesome, bud. It was good to see you. So I ran into him in Port of Spain while I was running some errands there. Um, I ran into another guy that I went to school with. His name's Timothy. So we hung out. We used to hang out in school when we were in secondary school. So he saw me
Yeah.
literally as I was leaving one of the places I was supposed to go to. So I come out and I'm like, I think I was on the phone with Alex at the time. So I get out, I call Alex, I'm on the phone with her, and literally as I turn the corner, he's Q. What's going on? What are you doing here? And I'm just like,
Oh, really?
yeah,
Okay.
I'm like, holy shit, this is not what I want right now. I didn't want to meet anyone. Mm. But we chatted for a little bit,
Yeah.
and then I left, and I think after that, who else have I met so I had this taxi driver that I used to pay whenever I was going to uni and I was like late or something. I'd pay him and he'd just take me all the way to uni. And
Mm.
really cool dude, really 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 cool dude. And I'm walking heading to my cousin's house, and this guy standing in front of a pizzeria called Mario's. He's like I think he said, did he say my name first? Or did he say like hey and waved? I think he did a wave, and I was like hey. But I looked at him confused. You know that look when you see someone who recognizes you but you don't recognize them.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
he was
That's
like
that's a moment.
he looked at me and he's like Q, right? And I'm like yeah. And he said, "Oh, this and he said his name, and he's like, I used to drive taxi in Maloney, and I was like, oh right, and then I remembered who he was. I was like, this was the guy I used to hire as my taxi driver. So cool, such a cool guy. We used to talk and stuff when when he was driving me around. So it was so cool seeing him, and yeah, I think I saw this. There was this girl that I went to school with. I went to secondary school with her. She looked at me as I was exiting a maxi taxi, stared at me in the eyes, and didn't react. At that point in time, I was like, well, I'm not going to react either. I just kept walking.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
just like, okay, cool. Like, I'm not like if I don't know if I'm pretty sure she recognized me. Like, there's a
Mm.
okay, maybe there's a 50-50 chance she recognized me because it's not like I don't think I follow her on any social media, and I highly doubt she follows me. So,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure how much I look the same as secondary school me. So maybe because when I was in secondary school, my hair was always short. So maybe yeah, I don't know. But
Yeah.
either way, but I did recognize her though. She looked the same, just older, you know.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah, but
so
that sounds great. You've been bumping into some
that's
people I hear.
horrible. I don't want to bump into
Nah, come
anyone.
on. Nah, but it eventually I was just expecting this. I thought it will happen sooner or later, since you're out there, doing stuff. Also, question. I mean, you've been away quite some time. Are there like big changes, like especially also around the area where you grew up? Do you
I haven't
see
I
new
haven't gone back
things
to the
or?
area I grew up.
Oh, you
So
haven't.
no,
Okay.
I've
All right.
specifically avoided there specifically because I'm trying to
Okay.
avoid running into people. So
I get it. You don't want.
I have
Okay.
not been back to the area.
Friendly neighbors and things
Yeah,
like
my
that.
neighbors are.
Yeah.
I had some friendly neighbors, not all of them, but I have noticed
Uh,
changes in the country though. So like there are portions of the country, like for example, where I went to school looks different. Um,
mm-hmm.
the roads look different.
Yeah.
There are some shops and places that there weren't shops and all this sort of stuff. So there have been changes
Mm-hmm.
that I've noticed, but
Hmm.
I wouldn't say that it's still familiar at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So there's still
Uh,
that familiarity to the country. I can get my way around. I've been traveling. I took a so far I've traveled twice in a maxi taxi. I knew what I was doing. I knew where I was going, all that kind of stuff. Uh, so yeah, generally speaking, it's been pretty okay. Pretty
yeah.
familiar. The one thing though, I think I lost my doubles eating skill. I went to the double stand and I'm leaning to eat the doubles. I'm spilling, chana and stuff all over the place. That's not good. A proper Trini would know exactly what to do. Their doubles
Exactly.
grip would be
Mm.
perfect. They will scoop the barrel and perfectly. But
Yeah.
my skills have been dwindled. They've gotten
Yeah.
smaller over time. But I'm still holding out hope that
Yeah.
I will
You'll
rekindle
get
them.
onto it. At
So
the end of this week, maybe already, there's only like one small little stain you'll see underneath. underneath your Rudy. That's it, you know.
Hey,
Yeah,
it is
as
what it is.
as your missus say, tourist. You become a tourist in your own country.
I honestly have become a tourist because you know what's the weirdest thing? I'm walking around taking pictures of random crap that regular people wouldn't
Yeah,
take
that's
pictures of.
typical. Yeah,
That's tourist shit. I shouldn't be doing that, but oh wow, this place has changed. Take a picture. Oh, that looks
yeah,
beautiful.
but it.
Take a picture.
Mm.
And so yeah, also I ran into one of my best mates, Ansel,
Mm-hmm.
Ansel Harris, awesome dude. So he's
Mm.
a film producer in Trinidad and Tobago,
Cool.
and he invited me to his film studio to come and hang out one morning, sorry, and I decided, yeah, I'm gonna go. And I went to the film studio, and oh, it was amazing, Raj. It was so cool just being
Wow.
there. They weren't
Yeah.
filming anything on that day. They were just taking pictures of the characters in costume, but just seeing the costumes and stuff like that, and also the excuse me, the makeup artists and stuff like that working on them, and it was the coolest thing ever. It was like, wow, I can't believe that they're doing stuff to this level in Trinidad and Tobago, you know.
Yeah, that's great. It's like a bit of behind the scenes kind of
Yes,
tour
I
you
did get
did
up
right
behind the
there.
scenes. It was super
Is
cool.
it a bit of this and that, like what they're doing, or are they specializing in any like style or genre or
So
whatever?
they are doing a lot of superhero films, like sci-fi superheroes
Oh,
sort of stuff. So
wow.
they've got a lot of sci-fi, a lot of superhero,
Hmm.
but they've done a bit of everything. So they've got like a soap
Yeah.
opera kind of series called All About Us. They've got something called I think what this one of their superhero films is called, I think it's Vassal Claw or something like that it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they've got another one. I think it's I'm trying. The name is on the tip of my tongue, but I'm trying to remember it. It was in movie theaters here in Trinidad. Uh, I think it starts with an M or something. It'll probably come back to me.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, sure.
um, essentially they've got their some of their stuff has been awarded awards for at like film festivals in Spain and all this sort of stuff. So they've been doing pretty
Yeah.
good. Yeah, pretty
Nice.
good. So um it was just good to go and hang out with them and chill and see what they're working on and all that kind of stuff,
Mm.
and just also to just catch up with my mate Ansel. We ended up going to Port of Spain after that, and we hung out. We ended up grabbing a bite to eat and just catching up. I have to say the weirdest thing, everyone here has been buying me food. So
Okay.
whenever
Well.
I run into like my friends or like with family and stuff like that, they keep buying me food for some reason. Because like when I went out with Ansel, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get my food and stuff like that. And he's like, no, 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 no. I've got you covered. Like, like you're visited here, so I was like getting like proper tourist treatment, to be honest. Because I'm like, I'm taking my wallet out, I'm trying to decide what to get. And he's like, no, no, no,
Mm.
I've got you covered. And it's the same like when I met up with Chad. He was like, he took me to this boba place, and he's so like, oh, this is so good and that is so good and so forth. And then he's like, which one do you want? And I'm like, oh well, I was, at first he asked me if about some one thing. I was like, oh, I don't really drink that, or I don't have milk and so forth. And he just kept recommending something else. He's like, "Oh, this doesn't have milk, and this is delicious, and so forth." And in the end, he was like, he ended up getting me one. So I just want, everyone, I just want to say thank you. Everyone's been awesome. My cousins have been bringing me stuff. They'll call me on their way home and, hey, do you need anything, and stuff. And so I try to do the same for them. Like when I'm out, I'm like, I'd call them, hey, do you need anything? And they're always like, no, it's okay. And then so like whatever I buy, I try to buy extra for them, but then at the same time they don't like. I bought currants roll, which is like it's like a,
Yeah.
a pastry with like raisins in it, and I bought that, and then my cousin was like, oh yeah, I don't like currants roll, and the other one, she was like, I like currants roll, but it's still been in the fridge for days, so I'm like, I'm not sure if she wants it, if she's gonna eat it. And then I got bananas. I think we've been eating the bananas, but I don't know, to be honest. It's just kind of yeah, I feel kind of bad at the same time. So but generally speaking, everyone's just been wonderful to me.
Mm.
So yeah,
That's
that's
great.
kind of been the gist of it for the most part. I can't complain. Weather's good. It's nice and warm. I want to go to the beach at least once before
Yeah, I
I
was
leave.
just about to ask you again if there's some plans,
I
maybe
haven't I haven't been
towards the end of the week or.
haven't been yet. One of my well, two of my mates were saying we could probably maybe go on the weekend.
Mm.
But we'll have to see. That's Javon and
Yeah.
Justin again.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, there's that. Those guys as well. Oh, you know, I have and then the rest of it I've just been on the phone with a few mates, like my mate Karen. Karen is awesome. We catch up on calls every now and then. He's busy with his family and stuff like that, so sometimes we'll hop on a call and we'll chat.
Okay.
And then Caden, of course. I think I saw Caden once this week, for a brief moment. But generally speaking, yeah, Trinidad has been good. I don't know if I'm forgetting anyone that I ran into this week. I don't know. Um, if I ran
Exactly.
into
It's
you,
been a few. It's been a few indeed.
it's been a
Yeah.
few. So if I ran into you and I forgot you, don't hold it against me. I've got a lot on my mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been my
Wow.
week. What about you, Raj?
Mm.
How has your week been?
I haven't been bumping into so many people like you have. Mainly Isaac here at home. No, I'm just kidding. It's been kind of a normal week, to
Mhm.
be honest. I haven't really been away. I have to think now. Did we do something with the band, or we will rehearse tomorrow evening? It's
Mhm.
only 1.5 week away from the concert, as you may know, on the 9th of December.
Mhm.
So we're going to keep the form going. But I think the biggest thing, as mentioned earlier, also is that we finally got winter. We have quite some snow right now.
Mhm.
When I checked the temperature, it was like minus 14, which is quite cold.
Mhm.
But it's great. It's looked like a really beautiful winter landscape, and the sun is shining. So I'm happy with that. I hope this will stay.
Mhm.
Because usually the first attempt like this, even though it comes quite a lot of snow for a few days, it kind of goes away and then it comes back later,
Mhm.
sometimes even after Christmas. So it's a bit of a bad timing, you might say, if you like snow on Christmas Eve or whatever.
Mhm.
But it's been a good week. I can't complain. It's been a good week. I'm on my routines, you might say, when it comes to taking care of myself, when it comes to working out, when it comes to, my work, my stuff. I've been productive. I'm on it.
Mhm.
Excuse me, and so forth. So it's good. My missus is away on a working trip today in the south part of Sweden. She's coming back later. No, wait, she went yesterday morning. Sorry. So she's coming back later this afternoon
Are you missing her?
and stuff like that. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's that. So
Are
it's
you
been
sure you're missing her, or are you just like saying that on the podcast in case she listens, and secretly you're just like having a party every night?
yeah. It's mainly for the podcast. I have to be honest. Nah, no, not really. But it was a nice boys' evening yesterday. I was streaming. It was Tuesday yesterday evening, so I was
Mhm.
streaming. I played, and I'm getting to that also when it comes to the gaming section. I played with Isaac actually. It was a
Mhm.
long time ago since we played like a FPS game together. It doesn't happen that often nowadays.
Mhm.
So that was nice. And the week or the end of the week, this weekend actually, I can say that already on Sunday, I will go with Adam, Agent Adam, my oldest son, to it's a fitness kind of event, a big one here
Mhm.
in Stockholm. As you may know, I have that kind of background, and I was into it, especially when I was in my 30s and things like that. So I'm going there, to hang with him and watch some competitions and stuff like that. Have a nice day with my older son. So looking forward to that.
Mhm.
So that's the gist of it for me. Yeah, been watching stuff as well. We're gonna get to that soon
Mhm.
as well. So, yeah,
Mhm.
nice, a good one, a very normal but still good week.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, yes.
Mm.
But with that said, and I hinted, I guess I mean, you have been bumping into people, but have you been have you been able to play? Yeah, you talked about that actually. You've been playing a bit of video games, haven't you?
I have played a little bit. I have to say a little bit because I think I've spent most of my free time,
Yeah.
um, either reading webtoons or just sort of like watching the other YouTube video here and there and so forth. So I haven't really spent a lot of time gaming,
No.
which is not good. I actually do need to finish a few games. There's one game that I needed to finish and I'm like literally almost at the end, so I literally just have a little bit more to finish it, which is great. And shout out to my Steam Deck for that. That this thing is beautiful. It's helping me like complete games and get
Mm.
through stuff at a reasonable rate and so forth. So With regards to what I've been playing, actually the game on the screen, which is WWE 2K23, ended up
Yeah.
getting that for the Steam Deck, and it runs amazing on the Steam Deck. And so I think my cousins were they were asking about the Steam Deck and all that kind of stuff, and I showed them it, and they were like, "Oh my God, the graphics look so great," you know, because I plugged into the telly and everything. But the
Mm.
thing is that they were saying the graphics look so great, but obviously for you and I, who were like proper gamers who know like the PC or the PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X can give even better graphics, would be like, yeah, not really. So I promised to show them something even better. Excuse me. But they ended up playing some WWE 2K23 against each other. They had some fun. I think one of the coolest moments was with the Steam Deck is that you can use multiple types of controllers on it at the same time.
Mm,
Like a
okay.
PC. So you can, someone can have a PlayStation controller, someone can have an Xbox controller, someone can have a Switch controller, and it will all work the same on the Steam Deck, which I think is one of the coolest things ever, about it as a platform. So they
Mm.
were playing WWE 2K23 against each other, and they were having some fun and all that. And then after WWE 2K, I think I showed them this game called Haven on the Steam Deck, and they
Mm-hmm.
found it nice. They were asking me if because Haven is a romantic kind of game, and they were asking me do you get to see the romance and stuff, and I was like, not really, and they were like, well, I think I can't remember the word they used. I think it was somewhere along the lines of like it was a letdown or something like that. Because like obviously
Okay.
like we're all grown adults. We're like, oh, you know what? Why can't they just show the romance? But then again, Haven is a
Mm.
game not for like just adults. I think it's rated T or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, so generally speaking, I say T as if I'm still. Oh, someone's calling me. Ooh, I'm gonna have to take that call after. Let me just say I'll call you right back. Yeah.
Later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so right, so yeah, Haven is what was I saying again? I was saying the age rating on Haven as if I'm in the US, but I think what's the European or the UK rating for it? I think
Yeah, I'm thinking or trying to find that out. I actually went onto the Steam site here, but I can't really see where it says something about it.
because it has a
Uh,
mature description, mature content description here on it. So if it has a mature content description, I would like to think it's rated M. So then they could have just gone all the way,
mm.
couldn't it? Um,
Yeah.
couldn't they have
Yeah.
done?
Well, I can't really.
I don't see its Peggy rating at the moment.
No, me
B-
neither.
but it's bothering me now. Oh my god, it's bothering me now that I know it has it's bothering me. Like my brain wants to know what is it rated.
Yeah, me too. I got curious as well. I haven't played this game, but I want to know even so. I see the skill rating is like 10 plus year olds,
Is
but
it?
that's skill rating. I mean, wait, stop here. Peggy 18 for sexual innuendo and alcohol tobacco.
Thank you. Oh, my brain is
Thank
at
you.
ease now. My brain is at ease.
Yes, it feels much better now.
Yes. So maybe they should have gone all the way. But either way, you know how creators are like. They have their whole creative
Yeah,
ideas in their mind and all that kind of stuff. So, can't judge them for it. But generally speaking, yeah, that's
no.
show them that, and generally they liked it. For me personally, I think I've been playing Trails in the Sky still, so there's that, and I've just been on the odd occasion, testing out some games on my Steam Deck, and that's been fine for me for the most part. I did play a little bit of eFootball, so there's that.
Hmm.
I did play a little bit of that, but yeah, generally speaking, it's been okay with the gaming. What about you, Rod? What have you been gaming?
Yeah, I have gone back once more to play something older, and there are a few reasons for that. First off, I wanted to play a Battlefield game again,
Mhm,
and it was a kind of a coincidence because they've just had a really nice sale when it comes to the whole Battlefield franchise on Steam.
mhm,
So I thought because I wanted to play Battlefield 1 that was released about it's 7 years old now. Wow.
mhm,
Which I believe is one of the better Battlefield games alongside with Battlefield 4. and when it comes to the more modern games in the series. However, I mean, I had the game before. I played it a lot, but I had it on my old Origin account. This is an old story, and I can't retrieve that, so I'm just giving up more or less. Maybe one day I'll give it a try again if EA change policies or more nights, whatever have you. But it's
Mhm.
there. So I looked into onto Steam, and it was like 4 quid. It was like $4 for the game,
Mhm.
and that was for every Battlefield game. I mean, €4 for
For
that game.
all
That's
for the
like
entire Battlefield series,
no, 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 no,
or
no.
for each?
For one, yeah, yeah. They might have had a price for a bundle. That
Mhm.
might have been the case. I did not check that. I just saw per game.
Mhm.
So yeah. Uh, and so I bought it. It was the premium edition, so you got a lot of stuff with the game.
Mhm.
And it's been really nice to get into the game again, playing. I like the multiplayer. It's fun. It's the gritty World War One. And yeah, this is cool. So what happened is, as I mentioned earlier, I streamed it yesterday, and I will make a video, I think, finish it today regarding Battlefield now, Battlefield 1. And I played with my youngest son, Crazy Soup Walking, Isaac.
Mhm.
And he had a game also. He played back in the day, so it's quite a long time ago. But still, I mean, he's a good gamer, so he did well. We had
Mhm.
fun. And yeah, so it was a nice little, going back kind of thing. And of course, the good part is that due to the sale, and other reasons too,
Mhm.
the player count has gone up quite some
For
when it
Battlefield
comes
1.
to, yeah, not only
Oh.
Battlefield 1, but also Battlefield 5, for example.
Oh.
So and Battlefield 4, I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
So there you go. If you really, really have a good sale on games, even though they might be like 6, 7 years old, that can happen even in a like online multiplayer. So I think
Mhm.
that's really, really nice. So it was definitely worth it. That's the also the only game so far I bought on sale. Might be another one, but and it's so typical. When I was streaming, also I told the guy, "Well, you can get it now. Go on to Steam," and and then for some reason it just
It was
stopped. The
gone.
sale stopped. Yeah, like
Oh.
a few hours before because yeah, because I gifted Crazy the. He also had he had his version left, when it comes to EA Play. The problem
Mhm.
though is that it was like the basic version of the game, and you know how it is regarding DLCs and stuff. And if we were
Yeah.
going to play together, that would cause a problem. So you know what? I'll buy you the game like $4. I can afford that. Here you go. Have
Mhm.
have have a treat, whatever. Yeah, and so forth. But yeah, that's that. So fun stuff. Lost connection, Mrs. here. Yeah.
I think maybe the internet may have gone down, and also my mate Elijah is in the chat. Shout out for Elijah.
Yeah. Hi there.
That's actually the mate whose mom I met up with this week actually.
Oh, nice. Yeah, good
So
to hear that.
yeah,
Cool.
he's pretty cool people.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. No, I'm just glad to play a good shooter again. I don't know what I did, and I have to say this: I had to uninstall since I don't have two external hard drives now. I only have one,
Mhm.
and I had to uninstall Modern Warfare 3 now from the SSD in order to install Battlefield 1, especially if I'm going to stream. I want it on the SSD because that takes like 3,459 gigabytes. It's so I can't believe they still can't make it more compressed, like that a lot of games are able to do. It's so big files.
Mhm.
Like Battlefield 1 was small compared to Modern Warfare 3. Yeah, hi there, bro. Yeah. But it's yeah, it's great. It's great. It's great to see that sometimes, yes, it's definitely worth going back, playing some of the older games, the OG ones, and also almost shout out to Steam in this situation. It was
Mhm.
really good timing.
Mhm.
Now that's a sale. Like when you
Yes,
pay $4 for a game like that, that's like thank you.
that's an amazing
So
deal. That is an
yeah,
amazing.
it is. It is. I have to say. So yeah.
You know
That's
what?
that. Yeah,
You know what? That's I think this Black Friday had some of the best gaming deals
yeah,
out there,
yeah,
because it's like you mentioned Battlefield. There were other games that were on sale during
yeah.
Black Friday that were like amazingly priced. I mean,
Uh,
Spider-Man PS4. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Ooh, Marvel Spider-Man for the PC on Steam.
yeah, right.
That was going for like 26, I think, on Steam, and you could have got it as low as 19.99.
Mm,
There were games that I think I saw quite a few games. Some were down to like 8 quid, 4 quid, and great games. You know, a friend of mine, Karen, got me an early birthday present. So like my birthday's coming up soon, and Karen wanted to get me a present because he called me up to ask me. He was like, bro, like he wanted to get Game Pass, like some points to put on his Xbox. And
mm.
the thing about it is that like in Trinidad you can't really like just purchase Game Pass and stuff like that. I think there's like limitations and stuff like that to for some applications and some subscription services. But you could buy the Game Pass and stuff like that through like Amazon or whatever have you as a card and just put it onto your system. And I ended up sending him a link to a website that had some really good deals. I think it's called CD Keys, and so he bought the Game Pass from there. And
Aha.
then he ended up picking up this other game on there as a birthday present for me. He ended up getting me what's it called? Devil May Cry 5, and I think that was about 6 for it. So
Yeah.
that
Oh,
was
great.
it
Good
was an
game also.
amazing. It
Mm.
is an amazing game. I've actually been wanting to play it for
Yeah.
ages. So
Yeah, it's good.
um
I played it. I liked it. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to play. I've beaten pretty much every Devil May Cry game, excluding that one. So I'm looking forward to jumping into that one. My favorite was DMC, Devil May Cry, which was the sort of like remake of it that people hated, but I liked. So
Mm.
that was my favorite Devil May Cry game in a long while. But I'm looking forward to playing Devil May Cry 5. It's gonna be fun. So I've got it there. I haven't installed it on my Steam Deck yet, but it's gonna be on there soon enough. So yeah, but that there were sales like that constantly throughout Black Friday, from Steam to Epic to even Ubisoft is. I think they're still doing it right now. They're giving away Assassin's Creed Syndicate on their website. So
Oh,
if
they
you,
are.
yeah, so
Okay.
if you go to Uplay on your PC, you should be able to get Assassin's Creed Syndicate for free. I'm not sure if it's the same on console, but I know for a fact that if you do it on Uplay, you'll get it, which I did. I just went in, claimed it. It's on my account now. I've got a
Mhm.
free game on there. But generally speaking, like everyone's just been there've been sales, there've been giveaways. Black Friday has been amazing if you're a gamer. If
Yeah,
you
yeah.
game, man, the amount of great games that were on sale this Black Friday, which is unfortunate because quite frankly, most of the time on a Black Friday, I have no money. Like my funds are really low. But it was
Yeah. I
still.
was
Mhm,
yeah, I was just about to get into that. I see also, yeah, you guys writing in the comments here, or the chat. It is true. I mean, I'm also holding back, trying to save money. I think everyone is more or less, definitely. It's those times.
mhm.
And but also, I think you and I have talked about this former years when it
Yeah.
comes to sales. You tend to also, oh yeah, that game, it's great. You buy it and then you never play
You never
it.
play.
So it's just taking some space, or not even space, but it's in your library, but you don't play it. I'm trying to be very honest now, also with myself. When I see a game, I think twice before I press the buy button. It's like, uh, yeah, inflation be real. Yeah.
It is.
But it is. I can, yeah, it's definitely. I'm thinking about. As I said, I think about that too, and it's like the combo of money and also time. Do I have the time to
Yes.
actually play this game?
Mhm.
Because also, as I do and you do to a certain degree, I mean, I do content. Like I have to think about when I play games now. It's usually with a purpose, and I do
Mhm.
content on it most of the time.
Mhm.
So I once in a while I play a game just on the side of it, and
Mhm.
for my own sake, if that makes sense. It might sound not so positive, but that's not the case.
Mhm.
But with that said, if I just go on and buy some cool games, well, okay, when do I have the time to play them? That's the
Yes.
the bottom line. So then I'd rather save money for something else, I guess. We're getting closer to Christmas too, and everything that comes with it.
Mhm.
Um, if anyone is celebrating. But even so, it's those times again, inflation, everything.
Yeah,
So
and as I
crap,
say,
crap,
I
crap.
would say if you are thinking about picking up something though, which you know what Roger's saying is 100% true. You know, the cost of living and everything like that is quite the thing. But if you still insist on picking up something, don't buy games full price. Save some money. Get it on sale if you can.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
there are a lot of websites you can find good deals on. I think one of the best resources I've found was Opera GX browser because they kind of like show you like different websites where you can get whatever game you're looking for on sale.
Yeah, that's
Um,
good.
so
That's
I've
good.
I've used that. I think that's you know how I ended up on CD keys actually because they were showing me CD keys for some of the games. So like games
Mm,
like you know and they still actually even after Black Friday and Cyber Monday there's still quite a few games on there that are still on sales price. For example, Street Fighter 5 is £22 on there, which that game is
okay.
almost everywhere else it's like 60 quid, or 70 quid. So,
Nice.
excuse me. So generally speaking, don't if you know with the cost of everything right now, don't buy everything. Obviously, don't over purchase on things that you're not gonna play.
Yeah,
But at the
yeah,
same time, if you do intend to get something, just get it on sale, save yourself some money.
yeah.
And yeah, that's the best advice I can give. A lot of times we get caught up with the FOMO, like we need to play day one with everyone else, but
Exactly.
that's not necessary. You don't need to play day one with
No,
everyone else. You can wait, and especially for me, like so many times I avoid games the whole day one rush, and that's fine, you
yeah.
know.
I
So
agree with you. I wanted to put it there also. I mean, we've talked, yeah, sales is one thing. If you can time it when it comes to finding what you want and also have the money for it,
mhm
apparent, obviously, but also in combination with maybe have an Xbox Game Pass, stuff like that, then
mhm
you might be able to play also newer games, but at a low cost. So
mhm
that kind of combo can really save you a lot of money. That's just an example, of course, but I mean, I me myself tried to look into that as well, you know.
mhm
So right now I'm not on Xbox Game Pass though. I'm saving. I'm I'm not.
yeah
This other stuff, yeah. But you know, but that's the good thing with it. You can go a bit back on and off
mhm
because you can see what they are about to release, like for the next month, and if it's something of your liking, well, maybe you choose to hop on again.
yeah
So
exactly.
you know,
You can
that's
watch
a
the
good thing.
market, and also like Nalu mentioned, you know, Fanatical is another great service
Yeah,
as
oh,
well,
yeah,
great
right. Yeah,
website.
that's a good
There's
tip.
there's a lot of them. There's Green Man Gaming, there's Fanatical, there's Humble Bundle, there's CD
Mm,
Keys, there's Anaba. There's a bunch of them out there
yeah.
that you can find. And then because especially on PC you have so many options. I think for the Xbox and the Switch, you can also purchase game keys from other websites. I think the PlayStation doesn't have that option anymore. You can only buy on PlayStation. So you'll probably, if you're buying for PlayStation, you're probably not getting the best deals that you could get because you've got only one place to get your deals, you know, to get your keys. But I think everywhere else you
Hmm.
can probably get like an alternative. So yeah. Anywho's it. How about we start talking about some telly? Yeah.
Yeah, we will do that. I was also just thinking about the question from now when it comes to the most expensive game you've ever bought. I
Ooh.
just gonna fill in there, and because I was sitting here thinking about that. What was that actually? And I can't really remember. I think it's a
I do.
combination of. Oh, you do. Well, then you go. You go.
So this is I'm answering this question in two ways. So this is the most expensive game I've bought that I have not played. All right. So I
All
bought it
right.
full
Oh.
price day one. Never played it. I paid about I think I paid $60 for it at the time, or maybe 70.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
maybe I got a special bundle or something. And that game was Dragon Age Origin, not Origins, the Inquisition. That's the one. I got Dragon Age
Wow.
Inquisition, and I've
Okay.
never played the game. Like I think I loaded up maybe once, and then I've
Oh.
not gone back to it. It's so I think that would be the most expensive game I've ever purchased, at least from my
Wow.
memory. You know that I've ever
Yeah.
purchased, and I've never played it. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that happens. That
Have
happens.
have you have you thought of yours?
No, I couldn't think of any right now. As said, I haven't been buying expensive games for a very long time. Because as said, also when it comes to an expensive game for sure,
Hmm.
like Call of Duty, as mentioned, those I am still getting from Activision, so I don't have to pay. I'm
Yes.
fortunate when it comes to that. But some other titles, then I do exactly what we all try to do: find
Get the
sales,
sales. Hmm.
or play it on Xbox Game Pass or something similar.
Yeah.
So it was some time ago. It was some time ago. I bought something for like 60, $70 or euros.
Mm.
I can't think of it right now. But
Can't.
with that said, as you said before, we definitely gonna get we're gonna get into the Tele section. As I'm laughing a bit, I'm watching this cat fight between these two girls on the screen at the same time. It's kind of fun. I could buy the game for this. Holy shit!
I'm just
Oh,
saying the game looks really good visually. It is quite a visually appealing game, and
yeah.
I think, as I said, like during Black Friday, the prices was so good for games like this. I don't know what the price is for this one right now, but I'm pretty sure you can look around. CD Keys probably still has it on sale, probably because they've got a few stuff on sale. Let me actually just do a quick search. WWE. Let's see what comes up. It is currently right now on CD keys for £14.99. That's actually pretty cheap.
Yeah.
14.99
Mm.
is not bad. That's 15 quid. That's actually not
Yeah.
bad for of a price
No.
for a game like that. Because I think if you go on Steam, it's probably closer to 60 or
Yeah.
70
Right.
quid. So
Mm.
yeah, so you get
Most
it on
likely.
Steam.
Mm.
You can hop in there. You have a lot of characters to play with. And yeah. So let's talk about some telly, shall we? For
Yes.
me, now I'm gonna go first. What I've been
Sure.
watching this week is not a lot of much, but I did start watching this new anime series, and I'm gonna
Ah.
try to butcher it by saying the Japanese name first, just for the fun of it, right? So
Mm.
it goes Kimi no koto ga dai 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 daisuki na 100 nin no kanojo, right? And in English that translates to the 100 girlfriends who really, 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 really love you. So
What a title.
what a title. It is on Crunchyroll. It's currently airing. I think I am on episode 5, and it's about this boy who he's going through all of school, making advances at girls, saying, "Hey, I love you, la di da," and he gets turned down every single time. And the weirdest thing is that he's an attractive dude, he's athletic, he's got everything that girls should want, and every time the girls turn him down, they're like, "Oh, you know what, you're so amazing and stuff," but nah, I'm not gonna date you. So, so
What?
he's got it pretty tough, and he starts, like, he goes to a shrine one day and he's given up. He's like, oh my god, why am I so unlucky, blah blah blah. And the god of the shrine appears to him and tells him, hey, like, the thing is that you've actually got a bunch, your luck is gonna turn, now that you're in university or college or whatever have you. He
Yeah.
says to him, like, apparently you've got, everyone in life has one soulmate. You've got 100
Hmm.
soulmates, right?
Okay.
And the thing is, once you the thing when you meet your soulmate, if you don't actually go together with each other, you'll actually die. That's literally what like, you'll
Oh.
start suffering unfortunate events and then you will die. So essentially, he has a bunch of soulmates. Now in his case, he just has to like, get into a relationship with one of them and he'll be fine. He won't die.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't get with, like, dates all the rest of them, they will die. So now he's a nice, kind guy as well. So now he's in a really awkward position where he then has to choose which girls live and which girls die. So far, where I've gotten in the story, he's dating two of the girls at the same time, so
Okay.
that they don't die. But they know that like, he's like, look, we're gonna be a double couple together, and the girls have agreed for some reason. And so yeah, it's an interesting watch. I'm curious to see what the other girls are gonna be about, and um how that dynamic is gonna work as the story progresses. Obviously this
Yeah.
is this is a harem anime. So Yeah, who knows what it's how that's gonna work out in the end. It's currently airing. I think it's kind of funny. I haven't finished it yet. It's something that I would not recommend binging in one sitting, but it's something that you can watch in little bits and have a little laugh, like maybe watch an episode or two here, and then that's about it. It's currently rated a 7.8 on my Animalist. I
Mm,
personally would give it a 6. Right.
okay.
So
Mm,
it's a
mm.
7. I'll give it a 6. It's not peak anime watching, but it's funny enough that you can have a decent time with it if you're looking for that. So yeah, that's the best I can give it.
Cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right.
so
Mm.
so Raj, what have you been watching?
It's been a bit of this and that. I have one or two series that I'm watching. One is on Netflix, actually, series from, is it Brazil? I think, kind of
Mhm.
a crime thingy. I'll talk about that another time. This time around, I wanted to talk about a superhero movie that I
Mhm.
watched. Me and Isaac checked it out. It was on HBO,
Mhm.
and it's the Blue Beetle
Ooh.
movie. Yeah, I was very like open-minded, didn't have any like expectations, which is usually good. I
Mhm.
guess this is one of those guys or heroes that some people don't know too much about. To be honest with you, I know about him, but not too much either. So with that said, I went in and checked out this movie. I recognized the dude already from Cobra Kai,
Mhm.
the like series, the spin-off series when it comes to Karate Kid,
Mhm.
that we talked about, that was on Netflix. What is his name again? The actor Solo Mariduena. Well,
Mm.
apparently he has a Mexican heritage, somewhat, and that goes for many of the characters in the series or and
Mhm.
the actors. So this is well, apparently this guy, he just graduated. Everything is recent college graduate, and long story short, it's about this alien kind of scarab
Mhm.
that you know possess him almost. It takes over Jamie Rice. It like to be its symbiotic host,
Mhm.
and with a suit of armor. Apparently, with a lot of extraordinary powers, it's quite cool scenes, especially when he gets it like the first time and everything. That will change, his destiny, blah blah blah, but becoming the Blue Beetle,
Mhm.
and well, yeah, it's what can I say about this? It has 6.0 on IMDb. I would
Mhm.
put it around there. I could be nice and maybe give it 6.5.
Mhm.
I think that this movie is saved a bit by the almost quirkiness, a bit like the humor, you might say. It's
Mhm.
action, it's sci-fi, it's adventure, but it's a bit of comedy as well, for sure.
Mhm.
I think the family pulls it off quite nicely, like
Mhm.
the family behind this bloke, and the girl he meets, of course, a bit of small romance, but not so much. Mainly focusing on the adventure stuff. And there are some really cool effects and fights and that comes with a movie like this. And so it's one of those movies that you can watch, or you can just decide to not watch, and you will
Mhm.
be fine. It's definitely that. And as you say now, there's been a lot of bad box office movies. If we think about the perspective of also making money, because all these movies they cost a lot of money, and some are. I think the Marvels aren't even, are they breaking even? I don't know, but it's I
Mhm.
think it's I told Isaac the other day when we talked about that in specifically talked about it. It's like they just have to start to make better movies.
They
I
do.
mean,
Movies are terrible
like a
now.
good, yeah, like better stories, better, like, well, the characters are what they are, but do the best with the characters, better dialogues, better movies. So,
It's
but
all
again, yeah,
it's not just you. It's everyone because
yeah,
similarly there's something else I watched this week that I didn't want to talk about on the podcast today
no,
because it was, as you say, like it was bad in the sense of
yeah.
like the story was just
I
it's
I
it's
think my feeling. Sorry, I have to put this in. Watching this again, yes, so I don't forget it. Sorry, Q.
mhm
It's also has to do with the, like, the honeymoon is over when it
mhm
comes to the amusement of people seeing their superheroes come alive on the
Yeah.
on the screen,
Mhm.
because that was the thing some years ago. Oh God, they can do this now. Oh, look at that, the Hulk looks amazing,
Mhm.
and stuff like that. And that was super cool. And some of those movies were actually better
Yes.
than the ones they have put out the recent years. But with that said, people want more now. They want, like, as I said, good movies.
Mhm.
Being entertained, but also have something to talk about afterwards. Not just only
Mhm.
and then it's over. It's like, yeah. So as you say now, the 95% of new movies have failed, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
People aren't stupid. So you know, um,
People are no
I don't
longer
know.
entertained. I think that's essentially it. I think a lot of
Yeah.
the newer films or newer TV series are just, and also there's a lot of saturation as well. I think there's so many, like, I just went online last night looking for something to watch when I was looking for the Blue Beetle, and I was just like, oh, let me just see what's available, and you just have so much to choose from. I think it's the same thing with gaming. It's like you just have so
Yes.
much. There are good ones, but there's a lot of bad in there. So like you have to sift through the mud to try to find like a gem or something that you can actually sit and just like really
Yes.
enjoy. Um, and it's got to a point where for me I'm finding myself enjoying more like anime and documentaries and the odd comedy here and there, those are working for me, but I think a lot of the
Mm.
serious shows or whatever have you are just not working for me. I have a series. I have always been a big fan of Doctor Who over the years.
Mm.
I we've spoken about it on the podcast before, and I ended
Sure.
up watching. I always look for, even when I'm not watching the series, like I didn't watch the last Doctor Who series, but I always watch the specials. Um, and I was looking forward to this special because David Tennant was coming back for this special that they had
Yeah.
that came out recently, and I think it was on the 25th. It came out, or the 26th. It came out, and oh, I was so excited. I was like, Tennant is back. He's my favorite
Mm.
Doctor. He didn't come back with my favorite of his companions, though. My favorite of his companions, for those of you who watch Doctor Who, my favorite of his companions was Rose, but he came back with another one of his companions, and it was just good to see Tennant on the screen again. It was good to see Donna
Yeah.
as well. Like, I don't. Donna was my least favorite of Tennant's companions, and that's because I just didn't like how Donna was just always loud and she shouted and all this sort of stuff, and she used to create a lot of drama when it came to, like, she would do something that would get the doctor and her in trouble, and then she'd be like all shouty and stuff about, like, why is this happening, kind of stuff. So it was like, oh my god, you are creating this problem, Donna. But then at the same time, she comes to, at the end of her arc with the story, like when she, at the end of it, is like she does her thing. And I also, I would say what I loved about Donna, put in for example, is I liked the characters around her. So like her family, her granddad was awesome. um and so they had a new arc with them coming back and all that kind of stuff, and Donna was back
Mm.
and the tent was back, and it was not enjoyable for the most part. Like, there was some
Yeah.
enjoyment to be had. I liked the villain. The villain was awesome. I think that was that was one of the biggest twists of a villain in the series. I won't spoil it for those who maybe want to go watch it. Um, but it just didn't come off well. Like, the writing just was, it was less of entertainment, more of it came off preachy, I guess is the best way to put it. It
Mm-hmm.
was just
Mm.
more, it was less of the entertainment, I think. And I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of films nowadays have that. They have this sort
Yes.
of
Mm.
like every film has to give you a message kind of vibe, and I'm like, no, it doesn't. Like, sometimes you could just watch
Exactly.
something and it's just a laugh, or it's just a like, I remember a good example of that is, like, I remember a couple of years ago I had this friend I used to hang out with, really really cool dude, and he started doing psychology at school. And when we used to hang out before, we would have all these jokes and we'd laugh and we'd have such a great time. And then once he started doing psychology at school, whenever I'd hang out with him, if I made a joke about something, he'd be like, "So what do you mean by that, Q? What is And I'm like, "What do you mean? What I mean by that? It's a joke." And he'd be like, "No, well, when someone says this, they actually mean that, and there's a sense of this and that." And I was like, what? Where you getting that from? Like, uh, and it got to the point where I couldn't hang
Mm,
out with him anymore. Like I was just like, oh my god, this is so exhausting. Like every time I
mm,
make a joke with you, it's like you look for some extra reasoning behind it when we're just having a laugh. We're just kicking back and chatting about random things and having a laugh about it. And
yeah.
I think it's the same with a lot of modern films now. It's you can't really have a laugh anymore, or anything like that. It's like everything is they need to teach you something, or there's a message, a hidden message in there. And I am not as entertained by that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that you can't
No.
have films with a message. There are films for that. Um,
Yeah.
a good
But the
example.
problem is not only that it has to have a message, or at least quite a few of them.
Hmm.
It's also the fact that they might be suppressed almost making the movie because they
Yeah.
are like, wait, we have to think about this. Oh, this is not political correct. Can we do this? And
Hmm.
what happens is you put everything like in a square box,
And everything
and
is the
then the
same.
movie will be the same as well, and
Yeah.
the one after that, and the one
Hmm.
after that. So with that, with like a bit of the cancel culture and stuff like that's like that is a problem because art, like every, how do you say, artist, whether it's film, music, being a composer, whatever have you, you have to have your, like, the ceiling has to be very high above you for
Hmm.
your creativity if you're going to be able to do something good, and sometimes go even out of your boundaries in order to
Hmm.
make something that is great.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, that will definitely limit your toolbox, and
Yeah.
being able to achieve what you really want to do. And I can see that too, and I think that's also part of the writing fatigue, as you guys are referring to, for example, because it, of course, it's applied to not only the superhero genre but movies in general.
Hmm.
And I also think it has to do a lot with Hollywood at this moment. That's also why I have looked around. I mean, I've always kind of done that, but even more the last few years, watched
Hmm.
movies from other countries and cultures, like
Hmm.
South Korea a lot,
Yeah.
from Europe, from France, from, I mentioned now, Latin America. I've been
Yeah.
watching this and enjoying this police series from Brazil,
Hmm.
because it becomes different. It's another culture. It's another way of movie language, if that
Hmm.
makes sense. Also,
Yeah.
how to film and how to do it.
Hmm.
And as you also say now, it goes also not only away from the white screen, like when it comes to movies. It also has to do with comedians. I mean,
Hmm.
we've seen that happen in,
We've seen that
like,
happen as well. Comedy is no longer.
on an Oscar, for example. But it's, yeah, it's I think that is, you really got into something there, Q, because that is something that limit the freedom of expression when it comes to being creative,
Hmm.
making good movies. And as you said, sure, there can be a message, but you also have to, maybe sometimes it's like when you say, oh, I have a goal
Hmm.
and I am aiming for that goal and it's important for me. But at the same time, as I've felt, sometimes it's not only the goal in itself that is the thing, it's the travel, it's the road to
Hmm.
the goal.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if I'm getting too philosophical here, but I think that's you know yeah, it's kind of bothering. It's bothering me. That's
Is.
that's also why when I go back, I've talked about many movies recently, well, for quite some time, because I like to do that. Not only with games, go back and play some good old games, some
Hmm.
old good games, maybe I should say,
Hmm.
but also older movies. Some
Hmm.
of them are so well written, and the dialogues, they take time. They let It's also the tempo in the movie. It
Yep.
doesn't just switch to another scene
It's well
in
paced.
7 seconds. Yeah, well paced.
Hmm.
And it feels great sitting there eating some popcorn and just watch the movie.
Yeah, losing
And as you
yourself
said,
in a film.
afterwards, you don't have to really feel that you have been enlightened
Yeah.
and become a higher being. It's more just you've had a really good.
You had a good time. I think the thing as well, I think
Uh,
a good example
oh yeah.
is like, for example, if every song was in the same genre, every like if all we could listen to was rap, or all we could listen to was rock and roll, or all we could
Hmm.
listen to was pop, eventually you'd get fed up of it. Eventually you'd be like, oh my god, I want to listen to something else. I want to try something else. Like it's too
Hmm.
much. I'm too saturated with this particular this alone.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. Every film now is just that. It's just hey, we have to pass, give you this message and so forth. And there was a point in time I remember, like with my missus can attest to this. We used to do this family movie night thing where we would pick a movie, a film to watch with our family, and we'd watch it. Everyone would be online and we'd watch a film and stuff like that. And there are certain films for me that I find depressing, right? And
Mm.
so usually when you have films from based on like slavery times and stuff like that, um, people of my complexion usually consider those, like, at least from my family, we consider those struggle movies, and we don't usually watch those movies unless we have to be in the mood to watch a movie like that. You can't just like put a film on like that and just like, oh well, let's
Mm.
just watch this movie, even if it has a good message and a nice story and all that kind of stuff. We just you just have to be in the mental state for that kind of film because it brings out a lot of emotion. And I remember one time my missus picked one of those for her choice of movie on movie night, and I'm kidding you not. And I know it didn't work out well because um everyone left during, like, everyone just so like, okay, I'm gonna go and stuff like that. And I remember she broke down in tears, she
Oh,
was, because she felt so bad. She was like, oh my god, I didn't this was not what I expected, because she was like, it's such a good movie, and it was a good movie.
yeah.
She's like, it's
Yeah.
such a good movie, and I figured like everyone would appreciate it. And
Mm.
what I said to her, I was like, babe, like, like, no one's blaming you, like, because everyone after, when I told them that she started crying, they were like, no, 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 like, make sure she understands that, like, we're not upset with her. It's just that it was just the we just didn't want to watch that particular type of movie for the reason that we just, you have to be in the mood for something like that.
Yeah, right.
And that was when she learned, like, oh, you can't really like bring up something like that at that particular point, out of the blue, because it may not go over well with everyone, sort of thing. And in the same way, like, for example, I don't like watching war movies all the time. So like, my missus, has a lot of films that, like, some films that she likes that are from like World War II and stuff like that. I don't really care to see that kind of stuff. Um, and so, like, sometimes there was one film she recommended to me that was around that period of set in World War II and stuff like that, with the Holocaust and Poland and all that kind of stuff. And I remember when she put it on, and I remember feeling so depressed at first. It turned out with that particular film, it was amazing and I loved it, and it's one of my favorite films now. But when it started, I was just like, oh my god, it's one of those. So now imagine if I had to watch that all the time, how depressed I would be. All of them wouldn't be as good as that particular one.
Mm.
And in the same way, like, every film doesn't have to be the same, in that sense of like, you need to give someone a message or whatever have you. Sometimes you can just have something a bit different. By the way, has the video stopped? I think the screen is blank, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, it did some time ago actually. I thought I would tell you, but then on the other hand, this was so engaging, so I got into it myself and just started to talk. Yeah, so yeah, it's
I
been a
just
bit.
noticed. I was like, holy crap! Like, I was just like, I was so engaged in the topic that we were having, the conversation, that I didn't even notice that it had gone blank. Sorry for anyone who was sitting there wondering the same exact thing. So yeah,
Everyone is so polite here, so it's you
yes,
know.
everyone is so polite. But generally speaking, I think we have films that will give you a good message. For me, like, for example, I'll sit down and I'll watch a film like The Woman King, or like, my missus and the boys watched that film about Serena Williams and Venus Williams' father, King Richards. I'll watch a film like that, and and those sort of films will have a message and all that kind of stuff. But I choose when I want to enjoy a film like that, when I want to just sit down and have a good message. Like, my cousin was watching one the other night about some, I can't remember the name of it. It was about some the first African American billionaire from in the States or something. I think it was on Netflix or something like that. And but you have to want to watch that at a specific time. Like, that has to be your
Hmm.
choice. It can't be that everything you watch has that. And I think, as well, like, I think modern films now, it feels like they're made with a checklist first before
Yeah,
a
yeah.
creativity. It's like you'd have a film set in China, and then you have to, like, we've got to have a black guy in there, we've got to have an Indian guy in there, we've got to have
Hmm.
a white guy in there, and so forth. And it's like, no, but it's set in China back in the whatever century. Like
Yeah, Ming Dynasty, whatever,
exactly,
it's
it's
like,
like that breaks the immersion for me. I'm no longer immersed in it. I'm watching it. I'm thinking like, like I'm starting to Google now. I'm like, were there black guys
yeah.
in China around this time? My brain is like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Um,
Mm,
so or like if you have like Black Panther, and then in Black Panther you have to have a guy of this ethnicity and that ethnicity or this this background or whatever have you and so forth. It feels like every film has to hit a checkbox for it to be valid, to get off the cutting board, and I feel like that's just not right. Green Book is an amazing film, by the way.
it is. Yeah, it
Um,
is. I just wrote it in the chat back to your missus because I really like this movie as well.
and again,
This is,
you had to be in
yeah.
a mood for that. Like when my missus recommended that to me, she was like, "Oh, let's watch this film," and you could if you ask her when she recommended it to me, I was just like, "Oh my god, I don't want to watch this." I was like, because for me, it's like that's a struggle movie. So I'm just like, "Oh,
Mm,
this is gonna be depressing. I'm gonna leave this film feeling all depressed and like irritated and stuff like that." And at the end of it, I was like, this is brilliant. Would I
it
watch Green Book
is.
every
Yeah.
day? Hell no. Like I love the film, but I'm not watching a film like Green Book every day. I want to watch something to just laugh sometimes and just not think about all the crap going on in the world. But yeah, it is
Yeah.
that essentially. But I think that's just what we have now. Hollywood is that now. Everything is exactly the same, and every film and every show and everything has to have a message,
Mm.
even at the cost of the plot and the story and the characters. It which ruins films for me right now. Like I do not
Yeah.
enjoy the odd average film, and yeah, it just is what it is. And that is quite unfortunate. A good example of a very diverse series that doesn't really the diversity doesn't come at the expense of the storytelling is One Piece. If you've ever read One Piece, if you've ever watched One Piece, there's a Netflix special, live action version of it. There's the anime.
Mm.
One Piece is one of the most diverse stories ever, but the diversity does not come before the storytelling. So you
Yeah,
have
right.
characters of every background. You have characters who are um, whatever ethnicity you want to think of. Some of them are not even human, and you have characters who have all sorts of different sexual backgrounds and so forth. But it doesn't come at the expense of the story.
Mm.
Doctor Who used to be like that as well. The Doctor had so many different companions. One of my favorite companions of his is his name is Jack Harkness, and Jack was bisexual. He went both ways. But he was a character first. His story, his arc, everything about him was him. But his sexuality wasn't the primary thing of him. It's something you found out as you went through the story. Like, oh, okay, he'll kiss a bloke and then he'll kiss a missus. Okay, that's cool. That's interesting. Um, but with the new companion, it's like she has to keep mentioning her diversity and stuff and her this and that, and I'm just like, mm, I'm like,
Yeah.
that's your whole character, isn't it? Like you are not. So, I was just like, nah, man.
Uh,
Vintage Doctor Who
well,
is better than current. It just is. So,
yeah.
uh, I I
Yeah.
I can't believe I went into that. I was my intent was not to talk about Doctor Who and this sort of stuff. And look at what happened. Uh, you can't put us
Yeah,
in the
but
same room,
it's
Rog. Mm.
what happens happens. But it's nice to see the engagement here also. Other titles mentioned like Gone with the Wind, the great classic. We talked about
Yes.
Green Book and
Mhm.
the Storm of the Century, original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. There's a lot of movies that people have close at heart, and also when it comes to being engaging, maybe it's a topic that might be a bit tough. But as I wrote also in the chat, I mean, I think you know me. I guess we differ a bit there.
Mhm.
We're getting to the end. We're over time here, but I also need to mention that I like watching movies. For example, as the we talked about the Green Book that has some I mean, it's backed up with a kind of a true background and story and events that has taken place.
Mhm.
That is kind of close at heart for me. I think it's the easiest way for the industry to make movies also right now because they don't have to come up with something. They can more or less follow in some events that actually happened in a way. But also, I like documentaries. I watch so much when it comes to as mentioned before here in the show,
Mhm.
like the Second World War as well, and things around that and everything. All these amazing, documentary filmers that risked their lives and some even died, doing
Mhm.
it while filming during the war. So it's yeah, exactly. Next podcast should be for an hour and a half. It happens, but I just wanted to mention that. So it depends on the mood, as you say. But I think we all can agree what we talked about here when it comes to a lot of the modern series and movies right now. It's not in the best of places, and but again, we shouldn't there's other things out there as it is with gaming. Sometimes you're better off look into the indie game scenes to
Yeah.
find some in scene to find some good games,
Mhm.
instead of buying the most expensive and maybe not the best game. But it also goes with film and series. That's also why I'm looking, like, try to find look into what other countries have been doing,
Mhm.
to find something cool. So, but with that said, bro, what do you say? Time flies.
Time
Yeah,
does fly indeed. That is 100% true. It flies when you're
yeah,
having a good time. Um,
that's true. Even
and
more.
that's essentially it. I am going to link a website in the
Yeah,
chat for people who want to find, as you mentioned, an indie film that is unique. So you can go to the website GT. I'm going to say it in the podcast for those listening, but those of you who are on YouTube, you can see the link there. So it's gtnetworktv.com. So this is the
cool.
film producer from the friend that I mentioned earlier. This is his website. You can find the
Mm.
stuff that he's working on there, and it's all independent stuff. It's all indie, so you'll find a lot of unique perspectives there. So
Yeah, I
anyway,
see that now. I'm checking it out as we're speaking. Okay,
exactly.
good.
I hope you enjoy.
Yeah.
Tell him Q sent you. So with that being said, I think we have to head out of here, Raj, isn't it?
Yeah, we have to. There's a day going on outside here somewhere in the world, and I need to catch up with stuff. But as always, it's been really nice to be here. Thank you for being here live, checking out what we're doing. We've been talking a lot about movies. It's been really nice. Not planned. This is that Beautiful Life podcast where everything happens and it happens. Yeah, with that said, take care. Have a beautiful week, and hopefully we'll talk again soon, meaning in a week from now. So with that said, muffin and out.
Mm, beautiful as always. So with that, guys, thank you very much for listening to this episode of That Beautiful Life podcast. My name, of course, is Q. That, of course, is Raj. And you can find Raj pretty much everywhere on 40 plus plus. That's number 40 with SPLSH, SPLESH. He streams on a Tuesday and a Sunday. That's correct.
Yep, it is.
Whew, beautiful. By the way, guys, if you listen to this podcast and you're enjoying it, please make sure to drop a like. It helps, and share it with people if you think they might enjoy the splendor that we put out here. You can also find me at LP Gandas Garden to you. I don't have a stream schedule right now, so I'm not gonna mention anything. Your boy ain't streaming at the moment. Unfortunately, I will get back to it soon. Nalu did bring it up in the podcast. I do need to get back to streaming. But other than that, you can also find us at Simply Binge or at Simply Binge UK, pretty much everywhere else. And as always, we wouldn't like you guys to miss out on any of the episodes of That Beautiful Life podcast. Many beautiful people like to subscribe to this podcast on Castbox, Acast, Spotify, iTunes, simplybinge.com, and elsewhere. There's other places as well. But yeah, we're gonna go into that. But as always, we're gonna do it for free. So as always, guys, this has been queued for your pleasure, and it's a wrap. That is the episode. Ah, we have done it, Rog. We have done it.
Noise.
It's a long one
Noise.
today, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a long one, but
Mm,
as said, when you're having a good time and you get into the feel, the rhythm of it, then that happens.
that does happen indeed. It does happen
Yeah,
indeed.
but we're both engaged into this as well. I mean, series, movies,
Yeah.
it goes way back. We grew up with that and we know how it felt back then. Of course, we change also, getting older, but
Hmm.
still, the references or references, sorry, preferences, God damn it, is there,
Yeah.
and you just feel that wait, what did I just watch? What did they try to tell me here?
What
you know?
the hell is this about?
Yeah,
It's the
this
worst.
is Yeah, this is the worst crap I've seen in ages.
I think
This would never happen back in the 80s.
for me it's like, do people really talk like that in real life or something? Or it's like, or you start getting this
Yeah.
sort of like cringe feel, like, ugh. It's like, like some things are better now and some things are worse. But
Hmm.